Konnichiwa, Japan fans. In today's show, we're going to talk about buyer relationships. Eigo desu. それでは行きましょう. So let's get going. This is the fourth year of the Sales Japan Series podcast, and we are broadcasting around the world from the Beverly Hills of Japan, Minato-ku. It is Chic Central. I'm your host, Dr. Greg Story, your corporate coaching and training guide committed to your success, the president of Dale Carnegie Training Japan, the best-selling author, Japan Sales Mastery and Japan Business Mastery, and my new book, Japan Presentations Mastery, will be released shortly. In this podcast, I want to help you to survive COVID-19. Don't forget to subscribe and share this podcast with your family, friends, and colleagues. We are not being sponsored by Libsyn, but we value your privacy, which is why we have our podcast hosted by Libsyn, who, unlike many other podcast hosts, have a strict policy that does not allow access to your private information by anyone. Here is our daily podcast lineup on iTunes. Mondays, the Cutting Edge Japan Business Show. Tuesdays, the Presentation Japan Series. Every second Tuesday, the Business Tatsujin no Oshie Show. Wednesdays, the Sales Japan Series. Thursdays, the Leadership Japan Series. And every second Thursday, the Business Pro Podcast Show. Fridays, the Japan Business Mastery Show. And Saturdays, Japan's top business interviews. Now, this is episode number 257. Today we're talking about how to build strong relationships with our buyers, part 1. If we want to succeed in sales, we have to build a strong relationship with our buyers. Having to run around and create a new buyer every time is seriously hard work. Yes, we must hunt, but we also want to farm. However, not all buyers are easy to deal with. We might think they should change so that they are easier to deal with. They should make it easier for us to sell them our solutions. Unfortunately, we can't change others. We can only change how we think and behave. Doing so can, in turn, have a positive impact on others. That's the whole thinking behind Dale Carnegie's How to Win Friends and Influence People. It's not about manipulation. It's not about us waiting for them to change. It's about changing ourselves first and how we approach buyers. If we approach buyers in the same way every time, we'll always get the same counter-reaction. This is Newtonian physics, which we learn in high school. For every action, there's an equal and opposite reaction. In sales, if we change the angle of our approach to the buyer by just 3 degrees, then we'll get a different counter-reaction. The point is, we have to make that decision to change those 3 degrees on our side first, rather than expecting the buyer to change themselves to suit how we like things. There are some excellent, proven, time-tested human relations principles we can draw on to help us with this. We're going to deal with human relations principles number 1 through 3 today. Number 1, don't criticize, condemn, or complain. How many times have you criticized someone and had them admit they were wrong and tell you that you are completely right? It almost never happens because people rush to defend themselves and want to justify whatever it is they are doing. If we do criticize them, knowing this, and all we are doing is setting ourselves up to fail to change them, and even worse, create bad feelings between us. We might be tempted to criticize the buyer's company for forcing us to have 120-day payment terms, or by suddenly changing the order at the last moment, or by leading us down the garden path and then buying from our competitor because we were used to provide the compliance department with their required multiple bids. We need to deal with such negative buyer actions in a different way. Find out more when we come back from the break. Our show today is brought to you by our public programs, but We also do custom-made in-house classes. Now, we do them in our super safe classroom, we do them live online, and we do them in Japanese, and we do them in English. Now, today's show is sponsored by, on the 19th of October, we're doing storytelling. On the 28th of October, time management. 4th and 5th of November, we're doing high-impact presentations. And on the 11th of November, we're doing successful public speaking. Check out our website, www.dale-carnegie, carnegie.co.jp. Get my best-selling books, Japan Sales Mastery. This is the Bible for selling in Japan. And Japan Business Mastery. Both are available on Amazon. And my new book, Japan Presentations Mastery, will be out in 2021. If you like learning by watching videos, then we have over 1,000 there for you at Tokyo, Japan, Dale Carnegie TV on YouTube. We release 3 TV shows every week on YouTube. The Cutting Edge Japan Business Show, that's the premier business show in Japan, comes out Mondays. Fridays, the Japan Business Mastery Show, and Saturdays, Japan's top business interviews, where I interview leaders in Japan from SMEs all the way up to the corporate captains of industry on one topic, leading in Japan. Now, every second Thursday, we release the Business Pro Television Show. And don't forget, you can email me at greg.story@dalecarnegie.com. Welcome back. Number 2, give honest, sincere appreciation. This sounds so simple, except that we don't do it. It is not that we give fake or dishonest appreciation, because we don't give any appreciation, period. We expect everybody to be doing what they should be doing, but we show no appreciation of that. Then we wonder why it is hard to get people to cooperate with us. The consequence is that everyone is starved of appreciation. They are also quite sensitive to any attempts at flattery and will dismiss it as dishonest words, somehow trying to trick them into doing something they don't want to do. So we have to identify something concrete and provable that they did and then praise that. For example, with a buyer, Suzuki-san, I appreciate the fact you got back to me on time with the information I requested. It really helped me meet the deadline. Thank you for your cooperation. The praise is specific and true, and Suzuki-san is more likely to accept the praise as being honest. Number 3, arouse in the other person an eager want. We all want lots of things. In fact, we spend almost 100% of our day focused on what we want. The issue, though, is when we need the cooperation of others. They are focused on what they want to and are not interested in our needs or requirements. We need to switch our communication to focus on things which are also important to them. What does the buyer, as an individual, not the company representative, want? Do we know what that is? And do we know it in detail? When we frame things in this way, they feel there is something positive for them and they are more motivated to agree to our ideas. How do you need to change your communication style and content to get the type of buyer cooperation you need where the other person thinks this is in their buyer interest too? Which principles are you going to use with your buyer today? Thank you for joining the Sales Japan series. If you found the program useful, please work on your karma and share it with your family, friends, and colleagues. Don't forget to subscribe and share this podcast. Immediately apply what you've learned today. Use it and go out there and survive. Remember, I'm your corporate coaching and training guy in your corner, committed to your success here in Nippon.